Right, Thursday, we are on the inside track at the turffontein for an 8-race program. Decent-sized fields for a Thursday afternoon, and some decent sorts that will certainly be on the show and strutting their stuff, some of them debuting at turffontein on Thursday. Now, as far as our social media handle, it is, of course, X, formerly known as Twitter or WhatsApp. Do get engaged and do get in touch. We are approaching Champions Day and the first ever World of Pools Day on the 6th of April at turffontein, first ever on the Highveld, that is. Well, let's talk about what's happening. Bread and butter racing on a Thursday, but nothing bread and butter about some of the pedigrees in race number 1, Mr. Marie. It is Tony Peter hoping to continue his good start with the sire Buffalo Bill Cody. He saddled the first one, and we know what it's done so far. And this one was already in the red. Is that Reputation, or is that on the Grapevine?
I think it's via the Grapevine, because I've even heard about this horse.
Okay.
So, yeah, so if he's fancied, we can certainly see him making a winning debut. You know, Paul Peter, Tony's dad, actually did extremely well with the Dam's family.
Okay.
Freed from Desire ran second in a grade 2 behind Al Mutana. I think it was the Hawaii Stakes. So we know he's fancied. Let's see how he moves down to the start.
Okay.
I haven't backed him in the opening leg of the bipod. Sorry, Cecil.
No.
I just backed him up with number 5. It's Personal.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, Tony will have a good line because he was soundly beaten by Taxi to the Moon on debut. But the word was out that this son of Water Winter is talented. You can see he moved up at a stage and then faded out towards the end. Comes back to 1,000 meters. Gets the booking of Richard Free this time round. So I'm actually going into this race saying number 5, It's Personal, at around even money is worth a place bet.
I can recall that the stable saying to me when I asked for comments, given a first timer, that whatever you see on that day, that was on the 7th of March, you can actually just pencil in this one as one to watch. And of course, Reputation about talk Taxi to the Moon was everywhere. So basically, trainers went in with a view of, let's see what our horse can do. Mr. Burrows, I don't know if you saw that debut by Taxi to the Moon. Tony thought it may be a bit on the short side on that day, but he thought it was good enough to come through and win, and when it did. Same silks on the 2, Buffalo Storm Cody. Has the word got to you as well about the debutante?
Yes. If I had to read you a message that I actually received, now, you never know if it's false information or if it's true. All I can say is Buffalo Bill Cody smashes Taxi to the Moon at work, who won a few weeks ago. So if that is the case, then Buffalo Storm Cody should win. A lovely pedigree, a lot of speed in the dam line, everything in his favor. And if he's that good, he's going to make a winning debut because Tony Peter gets them ready. So Buffalo Storm Cody, a confident selection, and this is a part of your doubles and pick 3s and tote doubles for the day.
Okay, so Buffalo Storm Cody in the colors of Curse Storm Investments. Nominee, Mr. Kenneth Pillay, the same ownership of Taxi to the Moon, and that is the way. So this is a confident selection at 6 to 10, but you've got the chances to get involved in a double or a treble, and that is the first leg. Word has got out, the dogs are barking loud, as they say. Mr. Marie, he is gone, as he said in his intro to race number 1, Buffalo Storm Cody, and backs it up with the once raced number 5, It's Personal, and then a couple of bankers to come through in legs 2 and 3. That is the 7 leg 2 and the 2 in leg 3. Honor to race number 2, the first leg of the afternoon's PA race number 2, and just having a look at the betting at this early stage of the afternoon. It is Rodeo Drive, once raced, who's at 14 to 10, a slight ease out from 13 to 10. Number 4, Far Reaching, first time, a 3 to 1, 6 to 1 about the 5, Pina Tubo. Then you've got 6 to 1 about number 6, and that is Pointer, both first timers. It is 12 to 1 and better about those. So race number number 2, that is another maiden juvenile plate. We've got a once-raced juvenile in the race, who looks set for that natural improvement. Distance is 1,000 meters. Mr. Burrows, let's start with Mr. Burrows. What do you reckon of race number 2? Anything that sticks out apart from, of course, the raced rodeo drive?
Definitely has to be far-reaching. I think this filly cost in the region of 550 grand as a yearling. Vercingetorix out of a dynasty mare. The 1,000 meters, is it going to be too short, or has she shown a lot of speed at home? That is the question. Rodeo Drive ran a good debut behind Simply Majestic back in December over 800 meters. Let's see how she goes. I'm not too confident about the 7 because they are lovely bred first timers. So let's just see where the money comes race time. If they do lump on something, I would follow the money. But currently, I would include 4, 6, 7, and 8.
4, 6, 7, and 8. That would be the ideal selection from Mr. Burrows for race number 2. Now, Daryl, as far as that Simply Majestic form line, what are your thoughts on that form line?
Yeah, Cecil, well, we've seen a winner from there. Happened to be at the Vaal on Thursday, Mr. Matchett's filly. Albeit not directly, indirectly. Yeah. Excuse me. So Queen of Fire ran third in that race. She ran second and then came out and won. And Rodeo Drive beat her on that occasion. But you know what's interesting of Cecil? Mr. Terry's got a lot of juveniles. And at this stage, Almond C looks like the live wire in the grade 2 nursery, fillies nursery on Derby Day. And who holds an entry to the grade 2 fillies nursery? Number 7, Rodeo Drive. So I think that gives me enough confidence to know that she's extremely well and above average. So although this could be a prep run, came into the nursery, I'm certain that she's talented, because Mr. Terry wouldn't have just nominated her in the nursery for fun. So I'm taking my chances. She is going to have to do it the difficult way. She's got a wide draw to contend with. I'm hoping she comes out running and she can at least finish in the top 2 for both my bipods we discussed in the previous race and my PA for the top 3. So banker number 7, Rodeo Drive.
Banker number 7, let's confirm that PA, it is banker the 7 in the first leg, banker the 2 in the second leg. That is race number 3, and that is Rosore Finale, a personal favorite of Daryl's, and I do believe tomorrow could be the day, or later on this afternoon. In fact, that could be the day for the mowing runner to finally come right, and that'll be at the 6th time of asking. Well, for a midweek meeting, we certainly have some decent sorts on a show, and race 3 is no exception. We've got the 8 of Forest God, who will be having a third outing and hoping to make it third time lucky again. It is that ownership of Got Together, and that is the luminaries as far as the ownership is concerned, hoping to give a good profile to the game. And their latest acquisition is of Forest God, at least acquisition through Strutted Stuff, having a third run after an improved second behind a 2 miles west. Gavin Arena retains the ride for the Mike DeCocker stable. That is at 50-10. Rosore Finale, that is the 2 after, this will be a third run after gelding, is at 4-1, 5-1, and better bar those. Race number 3, a nice race. And a surprise run from Taxhaven, still a maiden, but not a bad run in the Derby trial. And that was behind a Marauding Horde, also in the ownership of Forest God.
Yeah, yeah, very nice runner, in fact, Cecil. You know, he's got a wide draw to contend with. I'm sure he'll be thereabouts. Yeah, what you see is what you get with him. What's interesting of Cecil, number 2, Rosore Finale. Now, I know the form line wasn't done any justice out at the Vaal on Thursday, or on Tuesday, sorry.
You and I are getting my days
yeah,
mixed up, yeah.
But that was over a mile. And if you just watch the son of Ideal World, he quickened and then he became one-paced. He's going to love the step up to 2,000 meters. In fact, Mr. Mowing has nominated him for the Grade 1 Derby.
Wow.
Okay, so that can give you peace of mind that he is going to see out the extra and go further in time to come. He's by Ideal World out of the Fort Wood mare. So third run after rest and gelding, well clear of the balance of the field last time out. stepping up from a mile to 2,000 meters. I think everything's in his favor to get it right this time round. I do have respect for Mr. De Cock's horse, Boris God. He showed good improvement in his second start. If you have a look at that form line, he had a horse like Paris Park just behind him. That form line's also a bit suspect. But he is going to love the step up in trip, and he is by Silvano, and they generally get better with racing. But I'm going on the fact that Rosario Finale is super fit. He's going to be better over this trip. He's held in high regard because he is nominated for a grade 1. So the stable is flying. I think 4-1's quite generous. I know Darren Burrows is in the opposite camp, but I believe Rosario Finale at 4-1 does represent value.
Right, two things, Mr. Burrows. One thing that I have picked up from Mr. Marie as far as Rosario Finale is concerned, it was the first run after gelding, but now he'd be on the inside track, so be wary next time out on the stand side track, and not the greatest of runs. Now, this is the Derby entrant, and you must take seriously. The other question for you is the 6 Claw. Would it enjoy the step up to this trip?
I think so. You know, no one's spoken about Claw, and he's had 2 runs in Cape Town over 14 and 16, and he's out of a Mambo and Seattle mare. So I think he comes into the race with a realistic chance. Now, you touch on Rosario Finale. I think he's going to love the step up in trip. He's a big horse. He takes time to unwind. He's definitely a leading light. Tax Haven, good run in the what was that, the Derby trial. I thought a great effort, 5 lengths off Marauding Horde. But I'm going to have to lean towards Forest God. Reason why is he ran 7 lengths off on debut. Then he showed about 6-7 lengths improvement to his second run. And I think he could improve another 5 lengths having his third run over this trip. So even though the form line could be suspect, I think we're going to see a 6-7 length improvement over 2,000 meters. So Forest God, with a natural improvement to come, I think he could prove too strong. I do make Rosario Finale a big danger.
Right, let's confirm Darren's selection here. It is the Forest God, whom you can currently get at around 16-10 to take out a race number 3, a play soccer 6-10 and 13 maiden plate over the 2,000 meters. 13:40 is the off time to that first leg of the pick 6. Just before we discuss our first handicap of the afternoon at Turffontein, just a reminder that it is our handle Twitter, that is on X, and the number at the bottom of the screen. That's our WhatsApp contact details. Do get in touch. Right, race number 4, we've got the scratching of the 2 Kudzu, and that leaves us a field of 8, and topping the boards will be a hat-trick seeking number 1, a Royal Mazrin, since coming off a break, has certainly come back a very, very, very motivated horse, and it is regular pilot Chase Mojan aboard. 15-10, in from 22-10. That is where we stop. Now, as far as the race number 4, Mr. Marie, Royal Mazrin, returned trip 1,800 meters and then stepped up to 2,400 meters. And each time I did show that that gallop was very much unending, and could have galloped another 600 meters, especially over the 2,400.
Yeah, Cecil, you can't fault this horse's form since returning from a layoff. I mean, he wasn't expected to win in his return, and I'm sure he still needed it somewhat slightly in his second run after rest. Yeah, he's having his peak run. Isn't a strong field whatsoever. So I think Mr. Soma will be pleased to see Kudzu scratched, because that was his biggest danger. Kudzu had a major chance of reversing the form at the weights. But Royal Mazrin, peak run, right field, right trip, everything's in his favor to get it, to make it a hat-trick. Yeah, so he's my first choice. But I think Ideal Future, barring her later starts, prior to that she's right up there, and close up at that, is in receipt of how many kilograms? Cecil, 5.5 kilograms from Royal Mazrin. So if Royal Mazrin does fluff his line somewhat, I do believe Ideal Future could be the one to pick up the pieces. And I do have respect for her in receipt of 5.5 kilograms. So I'm going 1 from 3.
Yeah, now, Mr. Burrows, that penultimate run for the 4 Agamemnon is a bit confusing. Was in front of the eventually Derby trial placed number 1 Tax Haven in the preceding race, but then went to KZN and looked to be the one they all have to beat, and ran a very average of fourth, 7 lengths off them. Now in a handicap up against winners, do you think there could be some improvement to come through?
Yeah, the source is very limited, but you find with these stayers, they only improve with racing. Look at Royal Mazarin. He's a 6-year-old and now he's hitting his peak. So you get these stayers that only get better with age. I've seen it in Durban with a couple of 7-year-olds. They start winning races over trips of 2-4 or 3-2. And I think Royal Mazarin falls in that camp. He's had 2 comeback runs, impressive winner in both. He's actually hitting his peak form of his life at 6 years old. And I think he's going to build on those last 2 efforts. I think he's very hard to beat with the scratching of Kudzu. Ideal Future has to be the biggest danger. 54.5 kilos, run a couple of good races of late, should be competitive. Nuclear Force can get involved, but he has got 10 lengths to find on Royal Mazarin. He is better off at the weights though, and he started favourite against Royal Mazarin last time out. So 1 to beat 3 and 6.
That's Mr. Burrows, 1 to beat at 3 and 6, and the confidence selection Royal Mazarin to continue that upward curve. And this is over the extra 200 this afternoon. That is at 2,600 meters at www.turffontein.com. Merit rated 970, and that is the first leg of the first jackpot. Let's get to race number 5. This is for hospitality bookings. The caller 011 6811 796 rather. Fillies and Mares 71. It's over the 1,800 meters, and topping the boards in a race number 5 will be the 2 Aerials, a Jet, and that is the 3 to 1. The 1 a Feeling Groovy 7 to 2, 7 to 12 from 33 to 10 is the 7 Summerland. It is 7s and better bar those. Starting with you, Mr. Burrows, race number 5. Not much separating the 1 Feeling Groovy and the 2 Aerials Jet, who does look to be to have quite a bit of ability. Stable certainly thinks so. And the weight turnaround is actually very much in favor of the 2 Aerials Jet getting that second win from 8 outings.
Definitely. Now, she is my outright first choice, Aerials Jet. I think she's a better horse over 1,800. I know last time out I gave her a big chance, but she just moved up 1 pace. And she was having a second run after a rest. So I think having a peak run, 2.5 kilos better off with Feeling Groovy for half a length beating. And I have to give respect to Feeling Groovy, to be honest, because she's having a third run after a break on the high fault. And Richard Farina takes the ride. So 1 and 2 to fight it out, and then have a party. I don't think she enjoyed the poly last time out. Back on this type of surface, that 3rd to Mighty Goddess, 2nd to Royal Mazarin. Those look fair efforts in this type of company to feature.
All right, so that is 1 from 2 for Darren. And Daryl, you got a jackpot for us. It'll be interesting to see your selections for race number 5. I'm sure we can't wait any longer, so we'll turn to you. 1,800 meters, the Trip, Feeling Groovy, and Aerials Jet to top the boards.
I've got numbers 1, 2, 4, and 9. Yes, Cecil. Obviously, Aerials Jet holds number 1, Feeling Groovy, but I'm of the opinion that Feeling Groovy is better around the bend. So I wouldn't be surprised to see her reverse that form, but I've got respect for both of them. Number 4, Little Miss Sunshine. She's inconsistent, but when she runs one of her better races, she can feature. You can see on the Gilda Grey run, she holds Pascal Samore, but she's not really honest. So I have included her because she can feature. And then I like the look of Pascal Samore. Now, I know she's a 7-year-old mare, but I went back and her latest one happened to be of a mark of 63. She's now 59. And we know that she can prove hard to peg back if she gets it right up front. And Muzi Yeni is a great judge of pace. So yeah, she's got 54 to shoulder from a neat draw. If she gets it her own way up front, don't be surprised to see her contest the finish. So 1, 2, 4, and 9.
1249, we know the first leg of that jackpot. Two less confirm the rest of the jackpot suggestion from Mr. Marie. It is leg number 2 where he's gone at 2, 6, 9 and 10. Again, 4 horses in the third leg and 4 horses in the last, and that will be an outlay of 256 rand. Now, race number 6 brings together one or two that have been a bit frustrating to follow, and one of them, case in point, is the Two Wheel Express. Talking from a personal experience, of course, earns most of the time when it comes to the races. It's just that the winning turn is very hard to predict. 33 to 10 out from 3 to 1, 9 to 2 about the 1 Golden Pavilion, 8 Laughing William, 6 to 1 out from 11 to 2, the 7 Iger Sanction 7 to 1. There is a nibble, in fact, it has drifted as the 10 Officer in Command. And then a Universal Love is another that can fall in the bracket of a harder to follow. Now, Mr. Marie, Alberech came back to the maidens and won a decent race. Form has been franked. Would that be in any way part of your thought process?
He doesn't form part of my play, Cecil.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see him thereabouts. He is a son of Silvano, so generally they do improve with racing. You know, Willow Express, Richard's been aboard him 3 times in the past for 2 seconds, so I'm sure he'll really be keen to get it right 3rd time lucky or 4th time lucky. Yeah, Cecil, this horse hasn't won close on 2 years now, so he's not the most genuine, but in saying that, he never disgraces himself. He should be thereabouts, but last time out he really had the race at his mercy, and then I think when he hit the front he just didn't want to go on with it. But you can expect a decent effort in his behalf because he's got Richard free from a great draw, so a lot points towards him being thereabouts. Future Wolf, I liked his debut for his new yard. They took the tongue tie on that occasion. He quickened up well on the inside. We've seen 2 winners from that form line. Yeah, he can be thereabouts again. I'm looking for improvement from the 9 of here, Loya Lardo. Now, I followed him early on in his career. I thought he always had a nice finishing burst. He possessed a nice finishing burst. And then I was keen to see how he went when he was gelded. And it wasn't a great effort whatsoever. He's been put away since then. And Mr. Magna has now got the services of Gavin Lorena from a 1 draw. We haven't seen the best of the son of Alado yet, Cecil. So watch him in future. I think he is more than capable of winning a few as a handicapper.
Right, so that is race number 6 and the thoughts of Darryl. Let's get to Darren. As far as race number 6, Ameritrade at 72. We're talking about the 2 and the 5 from a personal perspective have been harder to follow. Universal Love, I think this is the biggest prize it will jump at for a very, very long time. How do you see race 6 panning out, sir?
Yeah, I've never been a fan of this Universal Love. I never know what trip is her best. She looks like she's looking for 2,400 meters, but you put her over that trip and she just fades. Some eye-catching efforts, so not for me. Willow Express, one of the leading lights. I think he is a 1,400-meter specialist, so the mile is stretching him a little bit, but he'll be competitive. Golden Pavilion was very eye-catching behind Lebecchio, and they've always rated him, but he needed to settle. And when I saw him settle in his last 2 starts, I thought this horse could have a future. So Golden Pavilion, one of my leading lights. Then Andy's Girl with the 4 kilos off her back. She ran 2 lengths off School Policy, 3 lengths Go Like Flow. It's her first run back in the province. And with 56.5 and a good draw, I wouldn't discount Andy's Girl. Of the rest, you got Laughing William, you got a couple of others with form. So my first choice would have to be Golden Pavilion over Andy's Girl.
Yeah, I was actually thinking 2 runners at the races on Thursday. The Aussies had big expectations on Tuesday and never quite worked out. Maybe with this low-key duo, it could turn around. That is the suggestion for the pick 3 from Darryl Marie. Watch out for his big value, the biggest outsider in the race, and that's the 9 Leo Alado in that first leg. It's a 64 rand outlay, and it's off at 15.25 for the first leg of the last pick 3. As we approach the peak, or at least at the tail end, it is the peak of the meeting with the merit-rated 96, race number 7 over the 1450. And of course, it is looking ahead to interaction. It is our X handle as well as our number, our WhatsApp number, to please get in touch with us. Right, race number 7, it is the Tap Telebet 0861 000 822. It's a distance of 1450, and I do believe that we have an interesting each-way selection to discuss here. Let's go through the top ones. Our Warhawk Bomber will be looking for another win. On the bounce, that will be 3 on the bounce for the Red Hot Waishong Mawing stable. Ray Danielson retains the ride. Is now into 28 to 10 from 3 to 1. Captain of Grit, the 7. That is at 9 to 2. 9 to 2 out from 4 to 1 goes the 10 Joker Man. 15 to 2 and Better Bar. Those, I think, appropriately named, and I say that with reverence. Unknown Quantity, the form lines after it won its maiden. Joker Man, it didn't really set the world alight. And then Joker Man came back to the races, so you're a bit weary, but won a nice race.
Yeah, you won a fantastic race last time out, Cecil. It looks like a versatile sort, because in his penultimate start, he actually went to the front, and last time out, Gavin gave him a chance, and he finished beautifully towards the outside. Himself and the runner-up pulled well clear of the balance of the field. Did pick up a hefty penalty on that occasion, the maximum £8, and he takes on some hard-knocking sports over here. But in saying that, he's unexposed over this distance, so he could be better than currently rated. I'll give him a strong chance over here. Now, Warhawk Bomber, how well has he done? He's matured beautifully, and you can't fault his recent form. Yesterday out at the Val, we saw Jerry's outrank that form, and MK's Pride, who happened to run third, put up a great effort when running second in his start. So he's going about business in the right manner. Number 6, War Bomber. But number 8, Kian the Conqueror, you know, this horse really dropped down to a very, very low mark, as low as 79 last time out. And the stables turned in a huge way. They've really come back to form. And have a look, last time out was the first time he wore a compression mask. And maybe that equipment change has given him, along with that win, some confidence to go on with it now. So I think he's off more than a workable mark. Marco knows what he's all about. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him follow up on his latest victory.
Okay, so that's an interesting race, with the selection being number 8, Kian the Conqueror. Let's hear from Darren as to his thoughts in a race where we've lost the 3 Trident King, who would have been one of the big outsiders. So we've got a field of 10. Are you in the same corner as Daryl, as far as Kian the Conqueror, or Warhawk Bomber to continue its winning ways?
I thought a tricky race. You know, you've got Warhawk Bomber that really has a good turn of foot on him, but he probably best over a mile, but if he's not too far back over the 1450, he'll be taking off at them. He really likes to race at the inside track, so that's in his favor. But Kian the Conqueror, he was impressive last time out to get up. I actually thought he was good value that day at 33 to 1. I thought he might bounce back, and he did. It's hard to say if he stays, because he's tried the 1400 a few times and he doesn't quite round it off, but he's definitely a runner. And then Joker Man, done nothing wrong. I thought after his maiden victory he would struggle next time out, and he proved too good. So with 53 kilos, he's got to be a serious runner too.
All right, so that is the race number 7. It is the Kian the Conqueror, who is currently at 7 to, in fact, has gone out to 15 to 2, who is an each-way selection for Daryl Murray. That is race number 7. And of course, if you need a reprise of any of those selections on the way to win for Thursday's meeting at Turffontein on the inside track, do get hold of us on our socials, X, or on our WhatsApp number that continues to pop up on the show.